Please, R-bies Runnet and Mr. Yutaka Sasai.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yutaka Sasai. You probably know me. And then today, I'm going to make a presentation of the Runnet Global, which is the AIMS registration partner. So the theme is that inbound or outbound, Runnet Global opens a door between Japan and the rest of the running world. This means events in Japan are welcoming more runners from abroad than ever before. At the same time, Japanese runners are venturing overseas for unique running experiences. So that both ways, inbound and outbound. Let me pick up that 3 examples. As you saw that videos that report on Mount Fuji International Marathon, 9,089 runners took part, including 1,543 from 42 other countries. As you know, Mount Fuji is the highest mountain in Japan, 3,776 meters, 12,309 feet. And it was awarded World Heritage status in 2013. So when you come to Tokyo, you can see Mount Fuji even from Tokyo, so such a height. Thus, there are many international runners joining the events. Now, about 1,543 runners from 42 countries means about 17% of total participations. And next example is Nagoya Women's Marathon. Nagoya Women's Marathon, the world's largest women's-only marathon, under the leadership of Teddy, a man of full of marketing mind, such as the Finishers Award, Tiffany small pendant from the well-dressed gentleman in black tie. There are about 22,000 runners participation in 2018, with more than 3,000 international runners, 40% of the total runners. And also that has been growing 10 times since the beginning in 2014. And the next example is that Tokyo Marathon. As you know, in the past, the marathon in Japan is that only for the elite runners. But Tokyo Marathon is the first mass marathons at major cities in Japan, with more than 300,000 applicants each year. Last year, they had 36,000 runners, including 6,000 international runners as of the 17 of total runners. So as you see that the international runners are growing, that participating in Japanese races. And then I want to explain that the reason why it's a part of the Japanese government policy. Japanese government plan to expand, including inbound tourism. Inbound tourist numbers have continuously increasing over the last 10 years, and year 2025, 40 million tourists to be achieved. So that the government policy of inbound is that the inbound tourism is more the pushing this move. And the second reason is increasing. Also, this is a government policy that increasing the number of international residents in Japan. The number of foreign-born residents has increased 2.6 times in the last 10 years. So that those kind of Japanese government policy also that they're pushing forward that for the running movement as well. And let me overview that what is happening that full marathon in Japan. Annual progression in the number of runners participating in full marathon events in Japan since 2004, that the number of people who run full marathon once a year has increased 4.7 times over the last 14 years. And the number of women who run full marathon once a year has increased 6.4 over the last 14 years. So that, and also that next one is by age groups. This is the analysis of the growth of the running by age group. In the last 14 years, the number of runners over 60 years old has increased 5.6 times. I am one of them. At the same time, the number of runners in the 20s has also increased 3.2 times. Over the full marathon market, overall, the full marathon market in Japan is still growing in both participation and the number of events. Then the outbound issue. Japanese runners abroad. The number of Japanese runners who run abroad is also growing. In the past, they typically run famous races such as Honolulu and the 6 majors. But now they can choose from a variety of races according to their personal tastes. But it used to be said that Honolulu Marathon that more than 50% of the participation are Japanese. But now the story now that the cases are something different. Now it's our turn. Runnet Global and Runnet Japan, our largest running portal site, with the membership of 2.5 million, handled entries for the following international races, which is that well over 1,000 entries we are handling. And this means that you will have an opportunity to increase the number of Japanese runners in your race through Runnet Global. So get in touch with the Runnet Global to reach Japanese runners. And Japanese runners are just waiting to try something new. So that please visit the Runnet Global desk just outside of the Congress room, or visit our website to share the trends of the Japanese runners are just waiting to try something new, so that the Japanese the running movement is both the inbound and outbound is very much that we have a future of the running movement. Thank you for your kind attention, because that I have been joining the AIMS Congress almost all congresses, including the first one in 1983 in Tokyo. And I wish you the great success of Tallinn Marathon. Tanan. Thank you.